Forget everything you think you know about master manipulators, because today, we're diving deep into the untold story of the one con artist who truly outsmarted everyone, including history itself. Their schemes were so intricate, their disguises so flawless, that their true identity remains a chilling secret. Prepare to be astounded by a life of pure, unadulterated deception. Picture yourself trying to catch a ghost, a phantom of a person who could charm millions, vanish without a trace, and leave entire institutions in ruins. This isn't a game. It's the real-life enigma of history's most sophisticated and utterly uncatchable con artist. Join me as we attempt to finally unmask the face behind the greatest deceptions ever pulled. On a warm afternoon in 1925, a black car rolled across the cobblestones toward the iron shadow of the Eiffel Tower. Vendors shouted, tourists pointed, and pigeons scattered through the sunlight like scraps of torn silver. No one noticed the man stepping out of the car, a slim figure in a tailored coat, hat angled low, gloves crisp and immaculate. He walked with purpose, but not urgency. Confidence followed him like a perfume. Before we dive in, hold your breath. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this isn't just a theft. It's a masterpiece of manipulation, charm, psychology, and the terrifying truth that the smartest criminals aren't the ones who run. They're the ones who make you want to follow them. Watch till the end, because the craziest part isn't that he sold the Eiffel Tower. It's how he nearly got away with it forever. The ghost in a tailored suit. Victor Lustig didn't arrive in the world quietly. He was born in 1890 in Austria, Hungary, a time and place where borders shifted, empires cracked, and entire identities were built on survival. Some said he grew up poor, others claimed he was wealthy. The truth is slippery, just like he was. By his teens, Victor discovered his gift. He could talk, not just talk, persuade, bend, weave, turn doubt into confidence, suspicion into trust. He drifted through Europe like a shadow in expensive shoes, casinos, hotels, luxury liners crossing the Atlantic. He learned what rich men wanted, what desperate men feared, and how greed could silence common sense. He never used guns. He never threatened. He didn't steal. He convinced people to give things away willingly. During his early 20s, Victor ran small scams, fake investments, forged bonds, rigged gambling. Each time police closed in, he vanished into a new country, a new name, a new suit. He accumulated languages, accents, and identities the way others collected stamps. By the time the world noticed him, Victor had already become a phantom. Paris and the perfect crime. Paris in 1925 was a city bleeding money. The government struggled, industries fought to recover from World War I, and the Eiffel Tower, built for the 1889 World Fair, was aging into an expensive steel skeleton. Repair costs were high. Rust chewed through beams. Newspapers whispered that the tower wasn't beloved by everyone. Some saw it as ugly, outdated, and financially useless. Victor smelled opportunity the way wolves smell blood. He forged a letter on official French government stationery and sent invitations to 5 of the wealthiest scrap metal dealers in Paris. The meeting location: Hôtel de Crillon, the kind of place where only the powerful went to do business. Inside a private room overlooking the Seine, the men waited, confused but curious. And then Victor walked in, calm, polished, radiating authority. He introduced himself as a deputy director of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs. He spoke softly, confidently. He whispered about government embarrassment, political pressure, secrecy. The Eiffel Tower, he told them, was too expensive to maintain. The French government planned to dismantle it and sell the metal for scrap. 5 businessmen stared at him in stunned silence. It sounded unthinkable, but also possible. Bureaucracies make strange decisions all the time, and these men saw millions. Victor leaned in, lowering his voice, pretending to fear being overheard. The public must not know. There will be riots, journalists, outrage, but someone must carry out the job, someone discreet, someone profitable. The men began to believe him. They weren't just listening, they were dreaming. The tour. Victor didn't just speak, he performed. He arranged a private tour of the Eiffel Tower with the businessmen. They walked through the metal belly of the monument. Rivets, beams, elevators shaking on their cables. Victor spoke as if he owned the structure. Repair costs, political headaches, government waste. He pointed out the rust, the decay, the millions of francs needed to preserve it. City guards saluted him. Workers nodded respectfully. Why? Because Victor had done his homework. Uniforms, badges, paperwork, payments, access. He made every detail airtight. By the time the tour was over, the businessmen weren't asking if the tower was being sold. They were asking who would win the bid. The mark among them was André Poisson, a man with money, but not reputation new to the elite business world, eager to prove himself, desperate to be taken seriously. Victor read him instantly. He invited Poisson to a private meeting, just the two of them, and sat down with a heavy sigh, acting conflicted. Monsieur Poisson, government salaries are limited, and such decisions often require cooperation. It was gentle, subtle, not a threat, not a demand, a bribe. Poisson's face changed. He understood. He felt powerful, chosen, inside a secret circle of government privilege. And he paid Victor a massive sum to secure his role as the official buyer of the Eiffel Tower. A day later, he handed over even more, the initial payment for the tower itself. Victor didn't run. He strolled, collected his money, packed his bags, and left France quietly, as calmly as he had arrived. It wasn't until days later that Poisson realized the truth. There was no deal. There was no government contract. There was no sale. There was only shame. And here's the most interesting part. He never reported it. Not because he didn't care, because he was embarrassed. A powerful businessman, outsmarted so completely, so publicly, so humiliatingly. He stayed silent. Victor counted on it. He was right. Round 2. Most criminals would have fled the continent. Victor came back. A few months later, he returned to Paris and prepared the same scheme. New letters, new businessmen, same hotel, same story. But lightning has a way of striking twice and catching fire the second time. One of the invited men grew suspicious, contacted authorities, and when Victor sensed the shift, he disappeared like smoke. He was a ghost again. The man who scammed Al Capone. Selling the Eiffel Tower twice should have been enough to make him a legend, but Victor wasn't finished. Back in the United States, he slipped into luxury hotels and wealthy salons, dressed like royalty, spoke like an academic, and charmed like a lover. His most famous trick was a small mahogany box, polished, velvet-lined, fitted with gears and brass. The money box. He claimed it could duplicate banknotes, scientifically, chemically, perfectly. He demonstrated it for wealthy victims, placing a real $100 bill in the machine alongside blank paper. Hours later, the machine spat out 2 real bills. What the victims didn't know was that Victor secretly loaded genuine bills inside the machine beforehand. The rich, the greedy, the curious, they all bought the box, dozens of them. Each cost thousands of dollars. And by the time they realized the box didn't work, Victor was gone. But the boldest stunt of all, he scammed Al Capone. He convinced Capone to invest $50,000 in a business deal. Victor took the money, pretended to invest it, returned months later looking devastated, claiming the deal fell apart, handing back the entire $50,000 untouched. Capone respected him, trusted him, believed him, which is exactly what Victor wanted. A week later, Victor returned again, looking desperate, claiming he lost everything and asking Capone for a small loan, maybe $5,000, to get back on his feet. Capone, touched by Victor's honesty, gave him the cash without hesitation. Victor walked away smiling. He didn't need to steal Capone's $50,000. He just needed Capone to think he was honest. It was psychological warfare, and Victor wrote the rulebook. However, no con artist survives forever. In the early 1930s, the U.S. Secret Service finally tracked him down, not because of scams, but because of a counterfeiting ring that was too large and too successful to ignore. Victor was arrested and sent to Alcatraz, the rock built for men like him. Even behind bars, he remained elegant, calm, polite. Other inmates were brutes. Victor was a gentleman, but his mind never stopped moving. Rumors spread that he was planning an escape, that he might vanish one last time. But age caught up with him faster than the guards did. In 1947, the most elusive con artist in history died quietly behind prison walls. His death certificate listed him under one of his hundreds of aliases. Even in death, Victor Lustig was a question mark. What makes Victor Lustig terrifying isn't the scale of his crimes. It's the psychology behind them. He didn't threaten people. He didn't force them. He understood them. He knew that greed can drown logic, that fear can silence truth, that confidence, spoken softly, can move mountains or sell them. To this day, historians and criminologists still marvel at him, a man who sold the Eiffel Tower not once but twice, without violence, without force, and without ever being truly known. Was he a villain? A genius? A ghost? Maybe all three. And here's the part that stings the most. If he walked into a boardroom or banquet today, wearing a clean suit and a polite smile, people would still trust him. Because the world hasn't changed. Only the methods have.